Product, price, place, promotion, commonly known as the 4 Ps of marketing. As an entrepreneur, this marketing mix is important to understand. If you do, you'll be a marketing whiz. Hi, I'm Joelle Foster. This video is part of a series that helps you learn how to start your own business. It was funded by the Manitoba government and produced by Futurepreneur Canada.
So let's change things up a bit. Let's go visit Leonard Taylor. He's a clothing designer in the Exchange. As you watch this interview, see if you can figure out what his unique value proposition is. Let's go on a field trip.
It's true. You gotta do everything.
Yes.
You sweat all the time. Always doing every odd job to save money.
I guess with jeans, you can almost do anything.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
You can buy jeans now that look like mops got hold of them, and it's you're paying $300
Yeah, or more.
or more.
Or
Yeah.
more. There's lots of jeans that go for $8,000 and $9,000 in major cities. So I can grind people's jeans. I can make them look like they're torn and ripped and distressed, or I can keep them, try and keep them clean and fresh for you.
Being a designer and owning a business, that's a lot of work. Why did you decide to take that path?
I wanted to create, and I wanted to make a living, and I wanted to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I just love what I do, and it's not work when you love what you do, right?
That's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
So if you could do it all over again, you'd do the same thing.
I don't know. Fashion is a very, very hard field.
It is.
Like any young designers that come to me for advice, I say don't do it. Because it's so hard. It's cutthroat, and your margins are so small, and nobody really cares to realize what it's actually worth. Because they can get something that's $20 from Walmart. They don't see the value in what you create. Whereas if this was a piece of art or was, technology or something, they'll pay thousands of dollars for it.
While I've got you here, I think that we should see what you're most famous for. And you're actually wearing it right now.
Yeah.
And that is the holster. So I would love for you to stand up
Okay.
and show us, because people
The
are now
holster.
wearing this in other provinces,
In other countries. Yeah, all
and
over.
It is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, they're a great handy item. You've got your wallet, your cell phone, your notepad, whatever you want to carry, your vitamins, business cards, pens, whatever you want to carry, just carry it here rather than in your pockets, And then if you put it under a blazer, you put it under a jacket, cardigan.
You can't even see it.
It disappears. When I was on the road and I was talking to lots of people, they're like, "You're the guy. You're the creative guy. You are the brand. You just need the business guy and the money guy, and you're golden."
But you've learned a lot running this business yourself.
Oh yeah.
And I think that so you've become that business guy that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And I see that in you.
Yeah.
So,
But it's one of those
it has
things.
taken a couple of years.
Exactly. It's taken many years. I'm 8 years in. Being the creative, being the businessman, being everything in the marketing, the strategies, everything, it takes its toll.
Well, you're doing it well.
Thank you. I try my best.
As you watch the rest of this video, think back about the interview we just did and reflect on the 4 Ps.
The 4 Ps were developed in the 1960s and still hold true today. Let's take a look at the 4 concepts. Product, price, place, and promotion. Knowing everything about your product or service is the first step to developing a strong marketing plan.
Whether you only have one product or a whole range, your marketing strategies will need to factor in a few of the following questions.
What does your customer want? Have you understood the needs of your clients? And does your product actually meet those needs?
Customer surveys are a key tool to finding this information. What is your product? Can you describe it? How easily can you describe it? Will your customers immediately recognize it? If you can't describe your product easily, you will need to go into further detail. Nonetheless, you need to know your product well.
How is it different from your competitors? What are the features and benefits that differentiates you from your competitors? Remember your compelling value. Lastly, how and where will your customer use it?
Once they have your product in their hands, you'll need to sketch out exactly how they're going to use it. Make sure you can tell the full life story of your product. From discovery, to purchase, to use, to disposal. Knowing this will make it easier to market to customers at the right time.
One of the most important things when developing a new product or introducing a new business to market is understanding first and foremost who your clients are and what problem it is you're trying to solve and what need it is you're trying to fulfill. Once you understand those things, you can take the next step in exploring the product development process. So some of the more important questions that a young entrepreneur can ask themselves when introducing a new product to market are: how and where will the customer use it? What does it look like? And how will the customers experience it? What size, color should it be? What is it to be called? How will it be branded? How is it differentiated from your competitors? And are there any features that you should focus on? At the end of the day, you want to create something that is pleasant and easy for the user to use, but at the same time, it needs to be a product that is designed in the most appropriate manner as well. There's a tool online called SurveyMonkey. Even some email programs like MailChimp have survey plugins. You can actually use those services free of charge. If you don't have an established customer base, you can always look at participating in an omnibus survey through a local research company. An omnibus survey is basically a survey that you share the cost with other business owners in order to get the answers from the marketplace that you need. A selfie stick. A selfie stick has been designed in order to make people's lives easier. The inventors of that product understood that in order to make the process of taking a picture of yourself easier, they did the research and came up with the selfie stick. HP's touchpad. When they introduced it to the market, they didn't really consider the user experience and failed miserably when stacked up and compared with Apple's iPad.
Once you've dug deep into your product or service, it's time to take into consideration how you would price it. At its basic level, we're talking about how much a customer is willing to pay you. When you're setting your price, don't forget to keep in mind what your customer perceives your value to be. Your price will ultimately affect your profit and sustainability.
Here are some questions to consider when setting your price. What is the value to the buyer? Have your customers already established what your product or service is worth to them? Understanding this, for example, through customer surveys and validation, will get you the information you need. Are there established price points already? As a new business owner, you'll have to know if your competitors have a similar or same product and have already set a price point.
Do you intend to compete with them on price? How will charging more or less be perceived by the market? How will it affect your bottom line? Are your customers the type of people that are looking for the best deal when it comes to your products or services?
Or you may find that your customers are less concerned about what your price is, so long as you're delivering a quality experience.
First and foremost is the value that that product or service has in the marketplace. The other thing that you should consider are what your operating costs are, how much you're spending on marketing, production, distribution of the product or service. You should also consider discounts, allowances, payment methods, credit terms. What are some of the factors in determining whether or not you should price your product or service at, above, or below your competitors? What is the perceived value of the product in the market? Is there a quality differentiator? Are there established price points for similar products or services in the area? Is the customer or your target audience price sensitive? What discounts should be offered to different trade customers and specific segments? How does your price compare to your competitors? So a great example of a good pricing strategy is Apple. They've identified really quickly who their target audience is, and they built a product their customers hold in the highest regard. They're highly innovative in their approach, and they value that. Their customers value that, and because of that, you very rarely see Apple products on sale.
Next up, we're going to talk about placement. The location and distribution of your product, or how you're going to get your product into your customers' hands. There are many channels for placement. The trick is knowing which one is right for you. Once you've established your distribution model, it can be very difficult and expensive for you to change.
Let's consider options that are available to you. Catalog mail order, TV home shopping, door-to-door sales, telemarketing, Tupperware parties, retail consignment, wholesale, branded retail, vending machines, direct-to-consumer, digital download, food trucks, online shopping aggregator, branded online storefront. You need to decide what makes sense for your business and then consider the unique needs for that choice.
If you have your own brick and mortar store, is your location convenient to your customers? If you're online, is the user experience conducive to purchasing? It's really important to ask yourself, what are your competitors doing? Will you challenge the status quo?
So there are a number of things that you should consider when determining placement of your product or service. Does it make sense to present your product or service in a boutique store? Perhaps it makes more sense for you to present your product in a larger retail environment. Maybe it's more of a personal face-to-face type situation that you deliver your product or service. Or maybe it's being delivered through different distribution channels. There's a whole range of different ways that you can present your product to the marketplace. Those were just a couple of examples. So some of the more common or popular places to distribute your product or service to the marketplace are online. This offers you the opportunity to present your product to a worldwide marketplace. The only disadvantage with it, of course, is the fact that it's a very competitive marketplace, and the transaction that you have with your customer tends to be very transactional orientated. There's no relationship built there. Another option is through a small local retail store. The disadvantage with that is there's a smaller, limited customer base, but it enables you to build a loyal customer following. And then trade shows is another one. Again, limited customer base, but it's a highly engaged audience.
You've determined your product, your price, and your placement. Now it's time for promotion. When you're promoting your product, you're both building awareness and presenting information on the benefits and the value of your product or service. This encompasses all communications to your market: advertising, public relations, social media, direct marketing, and sales promotions, to name a few.
Consider the following. Where will you promote? There are a multitude of media out there: television, radio, billboards, newspapers, social media channels, online marketing channels. You need to ask yourself, what are the pros and cons of each of these streams? Furthermore, can you even afford to promote your product on television? Do you have time to commit to a robust social media strategy? And are your customers even consuming these media to see your promotions?
When is the best time to promote? Some products are seasonal. You don't want to be promoting winter tires in the heat of the summer. Are your customers more likely to make purchases for your product at the beginning of the week, at the end, or only on weekends? Understanding the behavior of your customers is an important thing to consider.
What are your competitors doing? What are they doing that you like? What are they doing that you don't like? How much are you willing to go against the grain if you choose a different avenue?
Network marketing. Be seen everywhere. Get your name out there, attend trade shows, visit your Chamber of Commerce, visit a whole range of different events. Just be out in the marketplace in front of everybody as often as you can. Volunteer to different charities or organisations that need some help and support. In doing that, you're going to create a really positive environment for not only yourself, but your business as well. If you know another business owner that has a very similar target audience to you, why not talk to them about combining your products and services and presenting what you do through their business as soon as possible. Having a marketing team behind you will help create a really solid foundation for your products and services. If your product is highly technical, a bad way of presenting it to the marketplace might be through a radio commercial. A good method might be printed publication, so a newspaper or a magazine where you can go into a little bit more detail about what your product is and what the features and benefits are.
The 4 Ps of marketing should be considered in depth before making key marketing decisions. This is a really important step in your business planning. Some of these decisions aren't so easy to change once you've launched. Make sure you take the time to understand what your competitors are doing and what your customers want. If you're able to answer all the questions posed in this video, you're well on your way to a successful product launch. Thank you to the Manitoba government for helping us make these videos possible.